How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the movie Castle, and today we're going to be talking about The Stuff from 1985, written and directed by Larry Cohen, actually executive produced by Larry Cohen as well. Larry Cohen, kind of an underrated director, doesn't get talked about as much as, Wes Craven or John Carpenter, but he's a horror director that often gets a low budget and does way more with this budget than he should be able to do. In addition to this one, The Stuff, he's also done It's Alive, Cue the Winged Serpent, Maniac Cop, and in addition to his directing, he's written movies that he hasn't directed that other people did, so you may know him from things like Phone Booth as the writer of that movie, but all pretty good stuff. This movie also stars Michael Moriarty, who is a underrated actor as well. He worked with Cohen on Cue the Winged Serpent. You may also know him from the first Troll. Troll 2 everyone talks about because that's the so bad it's good, crazy over the top one. The first Troll is actually worth checking out. It's also got Elaine from Seinfeld. And if you're a Full Moon fan, it's not made by Full Moon, but it feels like it was sometimes. Really cool stuff in that movie. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into this movie. No major spoilers, but I want to make sure you guys have a basic understanding as to what this is about, and I also want to, of course, talk about some plot points and say my piece on them. This movie opens up with this guy who's getting off of work. He works at some sort of mine or factory or something, and he walks out and he sees bubbling up from the ground some white thing. It's some sort of yogurt-like substance. He reaches down to touch it and instinctively puts his finger in his mouth and is quite quickly taken by the taste. He wants to eat more. He wants to spread the stuff. Now, we do a quick jump cut to not too long later, and that has happened. The stuff is everywhere. They're putting it in containers, selling it. Ads for it are all over the place, and it's taking America by storm. The stuff is really cool. Everybody likes the stuff. It's some sort of dessert like yogurt, but it's supposed to be healthy for you. So it's not really desserty dessert, and people are eating it and loving it. Which other snack companies don't necessarily like. There's a group of people that are from another snack company, and they want to know just what's in the stuff so they can release a competing product. Now, to do this, they hire Mo Rutherford. He was sort of a corporate-world spy. Was an FBI guy until he left the force, and now he does things like this, figuring out what's in the stuff. And he's a really fun, interesting character. He's generally optimistic, likable, and he's quick to tell a joke. But you can tell there's more going on in his head than he lets other people see. In fact, one of his key traits is he has a thick southern accent, which he, doesn't hide. In fact, he pushes it because it gets people to underestimate him. And you look at this guy, you may think he's dumb and you don't expect much from him. He's just some happy-go-lucky southern guy, but he's got a bunch going behind his head, and he's okay with you not knowing that. In fact, in the scene where they hire him, he does something to prove his worth, and one of the guys says, "You're not as dumb as you appear to be." And he says, "Why, sir, there ain't nobody as dumb as I appear to be," which is a great line that sets the tone for this character. So he goes and investigates and finds out that a lot of people on the FDA that tested and approved this product are all missing or on vacation, and he can't get a hold of a lot of them. There's one guy who seems kind of nervous and he doesn't get much from. He follows some addresses, mail and stuff, to this one small town, and you get kind of a Dunwich Horror vibe there, where a lot of the people are gone, and the people that are left don't seem to trust you, and you probably can't trust them, and, it's a weird situation. But there you also meet Chocolate Chip Charlie, who is a cookie guy, a clear parody of Famous Amos, and Chocolate Chip Charlie's mad because his company kicked him out. They got, I think, bought up by the stuff company, and now instead of chocolate chip cookies, they want to just make the stuff. So he wants to figure out what's going on so that he can hopefully get back in good standing with his company and can hopefully be the head of his own company again, which sadly did kind of happen to the real Famous Amos, kind of lost control of the company and had to start his own cookie company again. But anyway, there's also another character. He goes to the advertising agency that's responsible for the stuff campaign and talks to the woman who managed it. And at first he's just trying to get information out of her, but then the two quickly fall in love, and because he's in love with her, she has access to more things involving the stuff than he would normally have access to on his own. Like, she may be able to say, hey, I want to shoot a commercial at the stuff factory, let's go over there, which is a big help to him. But we do need one more party member, and that's this boy, your sort of average American boy that the young viewer can really relate to. He hears something late at night and looks in the fridge, and he finds the stuff moving. The stuff's moving when it thought no one else was looking. So he and pretty much him alone in all of America know that the stuff is really alive. And that leads to this scene, very Invasion of the Body Snatchers, where his mom, his dad, and his brother have all been eating the stuff, and they want him to eat the stuff. Come on, it's healthy for you. I buy food for you. Do you not appreciate me? Eat the stuff. I got it for you. It's healthy. You really need to eat the food you're given. You're our son. And you do get this pushy attitude to try the stuff, and you get the movie's famous tagline, are you eating it, or is it eating you? You put it in your mouth to eat it, but that doesn't mean it dies. It stays in your stomach and eats you, and eventually it starts to influence your thoughts. And it's this really creepy Invasion of the Body Snatchers concept, and this poor kid has to leave his own home, has to escape his own family. And it's a really creepy thought, and it's a cool scene. Now, he'll eventually team up with Mo and the advertising girl, and they'll try to go and figure out how can they save America from the stuff. And let's go ahead and talk about the big pros with this movie, the really good stuff, and that, of course, is the meaning. This movie wants to talk about things like advertising culture and how you can see a product just plastered everywhere, and it's like, eat the stuff, and how many real-world products actually do that. In addition, it also wants to talk about how companies, when they see a way to make money, they're not necessarily going to be so super concerned with if it's actually good for you. The most obvious parallel is cigarettes. They know they're bad, and we still sell them. But another one is a lot of food you eat is not as healthy as it should be, and in some cases has some pretty bad stuff in it, and this really wants to talk about things like that. Companies selling you stuff that they know is dangerous, but hey, it makes money. And you do get to see this stuff. The advertising is everywhere. And because the stuff, it's got this really cool purple logo, the stuff with kind of like a target on it, purple and pink. It really stands out, and when you see it in a supermarket, or you see an ad for it or a commercial on TV, you see there's the stuff because it's not a real world thing, it's what you're looking for. But because this movie was low budget and was actually shot in real locations, real cities and stores, you do see other products doing the same thing. And if you pay attention, you're like, okay, there's the stuff I noticed because it's not real, but the real world things are doing very similar things as far as just sticking logos everywhere and trying to get attention. And that is a pretty cool way to point out this concept. In addition to this, the TV ads for the stuff are really cool. Larry Cohen, he wanted to do a thing where he'd run the fake TV ads for this stuff on TV, and then people would think it was an actual product, and then after doing this for a while, he would reveal that it was actually a movie and play the movie commercials. The studio didn't like this, so they didn't end up actually doing it, but as a result, you get some really cool commercials for this stuff, some music, and the Where's the Beef Lady is the Where's the Stuff Lady now, and it's pretty cool. But in addition to all that, it does talk about sort of the try it culture when a thing's popular and you're not super into it, and how you feel bombarded everywhere. Like when a new restaurant, like say a new burger shop opens up and everybody's talking about it. Have you tried the burgers? You should try the burgers. And how they, when something's popular, all these other people try to force it on you. Like Game of Thrones was super popular, but it wasn't really for me. And I also didn't have access to HBO. But man, when it was popular, you get so many people. Have you seen Game of Thrones? You should watch Game of Thrones. And I can't help but think, you should try the stuff. It's good for you. It tastes really good. And I feel that parallel is very prominent, and I do love this movie for showing that, and, having this really good real-world concept. In addition to all the meaning and message and themes, another thing I want to talk about, the special effects. Like I said earlier, Larry Cohen is a director that can get more for your money than anyone else, and, you get him wanting to make this crazy sci-fi creature feature, The Blob, mixed with Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and in turn there's lots of big special effects, and he figures out how to do them, how to shoot and get what he wants in his movie, even if he shouldn't have had the budget for it. And he pulls out lots of crazy special effects ideas, and he really uses the whole book. You got green screens, you got miniatures, you got footage that's reversed, you got tilted sets. I think it's the actual set from Nightmare on Elm Street, that famous blood squirting out of the guy. I think it's the exact same set, and they had the tilted set with the stuff moving up the walls. It's really, really cool. Now that being said, it's low budget, and also from the 80s, almost every effect, if you look at it, you can analyze how it's done, but it does a good job at telling the story. And if you know someone that's getting into practical effects, this is a good movie to look at, because it offers you the opportunity to analyze and figure out how these effects were done. And they're not perfect, but he did get what he wanted to get, and he's able to shoot a bigger story than most people could on this budget, and I have to give him major props for that. Now, as far as cons, yeah, some of these special effects don't quite work. In particular, there's a scene where this kid's in the back of a truck, and when he's there in real life, it's obvious, and when he's green screened in, that's very obvious, but, they had to put him in front of what is probably a miniature in one shot. You can tell, and there are some effects that are kind of campy, but overall, good job to shoot well above the weight. As far as other flaws, there is a bit of additional dialogue recording, ADR, where you can tell they added in lines to the movie to clarify what was going on. And I guess it is better to clarify than leave something vague and the audience wondering. But every now and then you get a scene where you can't see the character's mouth, or maybe it's a farther away shot, maybe they're in a car, and you can tell that they added in a line in post to explain something that they thought the audience wouldn't get. And it's noticeable, but overall not that bad. And it's better to make sure the audience is following you than to just, have them get completely lost and frustrated. And then also the ending is a little bit abrupt. It's not bad, it's just sort of like, okay, we're tying things up now. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess we're moving into the end, so the ending's a little abrupt, not bad, but it is abrupt. But overall, this is a really good movie. It's It's The Blob meets Invasion of the Body Snatchers. It talks about consumerism, and it gets a real-world issue, and it works within the B movie. Instead of bogging it down by being preachy, they found a way for the metaphor to enhance the story, and you get something that's more than just a B sci-fi creature feature. They Live would do something similar to this later, John Carpenter, where it's a B sci-fi horror movie that talks about a bigger issue, consumerism, advertising. So it really does, it talks about a lot, but it stays fun, and you really do like all the characters, especially Mo, and it has a young kid character who's not really annoying, so that's also great. But really cool meaning, really cool special effects, and a good setup and a good movie, and it does a lot for, again, a very low budget. So if you're into creature features, if you're a special effects geek, if you want to see a low-budget movie done well, and if you like, horror movies that talk about social, political issues, that do it right, this is one of those movies, and I definitely recommend it. Really good, low-budget creature feature from the mid-'80s, so I'd say check it out. I also say check out Cohen's other stuff. It's Alive, Cue the Winged Serpent, Maniac Cop, Phone Booth, good stuff. Anyway, that's about all I have to say at the moment. To everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You're really helping the channel out. I've actually done over 300 videos here, so if you want to see more, I'm sure I have more. As far as movies go, I do like 95% horror movies, so if you're into that, I probably have more, and I'll put a relevant playlist at the bottom, so if you want to check out more, there should be some over on the playlist, more stuff like this. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Relevant playlist on the bottom. Have a good day.